Hello, so my name's Ben Ong from Monash University, and I want to talk about an article that I've written with my colleagues, which is being published in Family Process. So I've written this article with Dr. Scott Barnes from Macquarie University in Sydney and Professor Niels Buus from Monash University in Melbourne in Australia. So in this study, we look at the open dialogue approach to working with families. Now, open dialogue is a collaborative approach to working with families that, among other things, prioritizes the promotion of a dialogue and the therapist clinician following the lead of families. And open dialogue writings have specifically mentioned that in order to follow the lead of the families and without having too much of an agenda on part of the therapist, the therapist can repeat parts of the prior talk of the clients. This is thought to display the therapist's responsive listening, or listening without an agenda to what the family is talking about, and can prompt further elaboration and discussion and dialogue by the family with minimal input from the therapist. So we sought to investigate how repeats are actually used by therapists within actual therapeutic conversations. So we recorded open dialogue sessions with clinicians and family members, and we analysed them using an approach called conversation analysis. Now, conversation analysis looks at sequences of talk and how people may design a turn of talk, what words they use and how they say it, and how that talk is responded to by people. And through looking at these micro details of talk, we can see how people use certain conversational practices to achieve certain actions. So for this study, we identified instances of a family's talk, and then how the therapist repeated a part of that talk, and then how it was responded to by the family. And we found that the therapist repeats had quite a variety of functions. They could be used by therapists to initiate repair. This is when the therapist had a problem of hearing or understanding what the family member had previously said, and the repeat could, repair or clarify parts that they didn't understand. They could also be the therapist showing receipt or acknowledgement or their understanding to confirm that they heard something from the prior talk. And they could also, as theorized, nominate an aspect of the client's talk for further elaboration and led to further discussion by the client and family. So as such, we found that the therapist repeats, while they did function in this theorized way, they weren't a completely neutral type of practice. This is because the client's talk can have quite a number of things said. It can be quite an extended turn with lots of various topics. And the therapist just selects a particular one from that to repeat. Because this is part of conversation and what happens naturally, that the therapist can't repeat the whole turn. But as a result, it means that the therapist is selecting parts of talk for further discussion and, in a sense, leaving others out. And this still subtly directs the conversation down certain avenues and not others. So while repeats do afford the clients some responsive flexibility and do encourage elaboration with some minimal intervention from the therapist, they do direct the conversation and aren't a completely neutral type of practice. So if you'd like more details, have a look at our article in Family Process. Thanks.